Welcome back, traders. We have Harlan Pyan. I'm not going to make fun of him today because he could easily make fun of me. Now, Harlan, tell me, you didn't hear the dog story more than once, did you?
I did. I did. I keep refreshing, and the next thing you know, it starts with the beginning loop about the dog story. So, but
Okay. Well, it's Perry. If you want to send a card, it's Perry with an I. Okay. It's a female dog.
yeah, but make the check out to your name, right?
How is Perry doing now, Joel? Is
I
Perry
have not.
better
I
now?
have not. Lisa, at least today's her day off. She was still crashed. She was going to head into the swimming pool yet. So I have not. I have not heard. But she barked at me when I left this morning. So
Oh, that's good news.
maybe she sensed my unsympathetic attitude when we were sitting at the vet at 12:30 in the morning. But I'm not a vet here. But if anybody's ever had their dog eat ibuprofen, just pop in the chat room and let me know what happens. After my $250, I should have been a vet, man. 250 bones. Oh my
Unless it's
gosh.
bad news, then don't pop it in the chat.
Okay. All right. Hey, Harlan, we've had to pull
Yeah.
back. Found support 1830. We're bouncing up here. Is there anything you got on our radar we need to alert our traders to?
Well, what was nice is not only did you hit the 50-day, you hit that 1835.40 level that we were talking about for weeks. It's a 38.2% fib retracement off the Feb lows to the recent high. So, there's 3 or 4 markers right there that told you, it's support. Not to mention it got defended. So where to from here? Well, who's not to say you don't get chewed alive like you did the whole month of March in here? We could go back up to, 1880 resistance. What if we put in over the next month, what if you put a right shoulder in? It's a possibility. It's what to watch for.
Bite your
The
tongue,
other thing,
Harlan. You're talking bearish. Bite your tongue.
oh gosh, hey, I'm not the boss. The market is. It's going to do what it wants to do, and I just try to follow along.
Okay, so we've had some real good pullbacks, and I know you like things on the radar that manage to pull back, but you don't like them breaking the 50-day. Do you have any scenarios where you had a major pullback? The stock, went substantially through the 50-day, but it's coming back up through it, so maybe you're buying it with a little momo to the upside.
Well, there's a ton of names that have broke the 50-day. There's also a ton of names that traced out a real classic 5 waves down pattern. The NASDAQ comp did it. All the bios did it. Everybody's scared of bios, which you may want to start to look at them then for you contrarians. But,
You're listening to our
you got to
show
look at
too much, being a contrarian. Don't do it. What
what.
about this?
Listen to Joel too much.
Yeah. Oh, okay, Dennis. Missed it by the open yesterday.
Uh,
What about Biogen here? It's had a nice pullback. Now, that's got to be below its 50-day. How's it looking with the 200-day?
Let's see what I got here. I haven't been watching it the last. No, it's still got a long way to go. 265. That's pretty much where the 200-day is. But look at BIB because that's one of the ProShares Ultra Nasdaq Biotech Index. Bam, right down to the 200-day.
Really?
So, mm-hmm. And then while you're at it, take a look at VRX. You'll see the same
BRX.
thing.
That's my nemesis there. I bought Valiant Pharmaceuticals in my investment account way back when, and that was a Canadian one, way back when it was, I can't even remember, it was a different company. And I had that thing at like 13 bucks. And it had
Yep.
run, and it had run, and it
13
had run.
bucks to do a
I'm not
reverse
joking.
split?
Yeah, look back on the weeklies. Look back on the weeklies on the charts on that. I owned that thing back in the day. It was like $13 back in 2009. It was one of my bigger portfolio investments too. And this was a good one. I ran it all the way to 55, 60 bucks. And I was like, I have quadrupled my money on this thing. I thought it was a ridiculous run in 2 years. It had quadrupled. And I obviously sold way too early because then I watched over the next year go to $153. So here I am. I look at this trade and I hate the stock despite making 300% on my money. I still hate the stock because I didn't get that whole move. And the big move was from 60 to 150. So, anyways.
Oh my gosh. Well, if those are your problems, are they really problems?
Well, I have other bigger
Considering the
problems
alternative.
too, but it's funny when you look and you leave 90 points on the table how much,
Ask her where he's long Alcoa at.
Oh yeah, Alco is terrible.
So what are you looking at? What's your setup here at Valiant? I mean, you
Well,
made low of the move yesterday.
right, came right down to the prior support zone. Kind of basically, you could say it tagged the 200 day, and it launched. It went from like 115 to 122, which is huge for in the course of a day. So the deal is typically when you get stocks going into a major correction, they'll break the 50 day and they'll try to find a zone where they can stabilize. That's where the 200 day comes in, and a major prior support level. So you see that a lot. A lot of names when they come down to the 200 day, they're not a bad level to pick them off for a trade. I wouldn't want to be an investor in them, but it's a good example. I mean, 115 to 122 in a day. That's a huge trade. I'll take that every day.
So are you
So be on the lookout for stuff like that.
do you put a bit? I mean, because I noticed that it came down to 115.02 back on January 7th and hit 115.14 yesterday. So is this something where you throw a bid out near that level and you just hope to get nicked and you give yourself a couple points, or do you wait for it to, I mean, obviously rebounded hard off that level. Do you try and actually, bottom ticket and get the bottom, or do you like to wait till it starts to go back up and then use the let's say use the 115 level as a stop out point?
Well, that's a really good point. It all comes down to where are you gonna try and nail the low. I tried to, I missed it, and it cost me $7. So I'm not in it.
So where'd you
Speaking of
buy it?
Nemesis, huh?
You bought it ahead of the 200 day, huh?
No, I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it yet. I'm watching it, and I'm
Okay.
going, okay, if this thing tags the 200 day, I want to do it. And that was when you saw yesterday when the S&P kind of head faked for,
Yeah.
it broke to 1840, and it's like, boom, new lows.
I
And I
know.
said, nope, I'm staying away.
Yeah.
And it ended up being a shakeout. So I just stayed away, and face of fear was the trade. But it makes a good point. You're in the zone. We have a saying: 90% of this is getting in the zone. 10% is sweating it out once you're in the zone. So, it would fall into that realm. If you wanted to place a tight stop at, say if you pegged it in a 115, 116 range. Well, first off, if you're a swing trader, you're going, that's good enough for me. See you later. Yesterday. But, by the same token, if you're in the zone, who's not to say this thing can't keep going higher? You set your stop at wherever you decide. If I'm taking a 5% position, what's a 10% stop impact if I get stopped out after it's already been, beaten to a pulp? Your odds of getting filled on the stop side, are pretty rare. So, but you're right. There's a ton of stocks that actually took off yesterday. So that's one trade. Netflix was another one. Came right down to the 200 day, put on 10 points.
Yeah, bounced. And we saw it in
So,
so many different stocks there yesterday, Harlan. The momentum stocks were really showing some life yesterday. They were kind of your leaders once again for
yep.
at least one day. Do you think this
Oh
is
yeah,
just like
because
a
nobody
dead
wants them.
Yeah, do you think this is like a dead cat bounce off the 200-day moving average on a lot of these stocks, or do you think there's going to be some follow-through momentum here in some of these?
Well, I think you have to look at it as at least a dead cat bounce for now. Oversold, short cover rally.
Right.
We've seen these things to the upside. When you see stocks, growth stocks to the upside, they just go vertical. You're chasing a bus on that side. And the flip side is, when you see them go, straight down into the gutter, you're chasing a bus on the short side, and they're just going to hand it to you
Right.
when they decide to turn them. So, it's really about trading extremes. And the 200 day, when they get clocked like that, I mean, this stock could sit here and try and build the bottom of a cup for the next 2 to 3 months. Look at GILD; it's getting a little sloppy in here. So, but it too came down and hit that 200 day initially and got a launch. So, that's kind of what I look for a trade. When I see stocks like that are really washed out with the market washed out, that's what you want to start to watch for. Now, there's other names that were trending higher above the 50-day that all they've done is pull back off their highs to the 50-day moving average.
What are those?
So,
what are a couple of those?
Brocade, BRCD.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's looking good. Fuel Cell.
Do you like
backing
fuel
down.
cell? Do you like fuel cell here?
The pattern's setting up. I'll tell you that. You know,
Starting to look a little bit better there.
yeah. Well, you got your initial tag of the 50-day, and it's either going to launch from here or it's going to sit down here and suck up some supply.
And what about
So
the plugster? What about the plugster? The
the
leader of the
plugster. I
yeah.
haven't looked at it lately, but let's take a gander at it here.
It's just hanging here. It's just like it's
Yeah,
allergic to that $8
It
level
is
here. It gets
allergic to
above
8.
there.
right.
And I've talked to you about the 50% retracement was this exact high here at 848. So that's the big bogey on the upside. Every time it gets above 8, it catches a cold. But let's
Yeah.
just can we take a quick look at Facebook here? Because I know that's a popular
Yep.
intraday stock. Johnny Spangler's taking a look at it. It had to pull now 50-day. Where'd it get to? And I know it's way above its 200-day. Did it
The
get
50
quite to
days
it?
right around what, 65-ish?
Really?
You
Is
know, who
that
was talking about 64?
Joel,
Somebody was talking.
Joel,
Okay. Yeah.
I was talking about
So,
60.
oh, you were. Okay. Yeah, I can see that too. But you look at it, and yeah, they took it out to the cleaners just like everything else in growth land. But best case, maybe it needs to build a whole new base over time for an investor. But if you're a trader, the face of fear yesterday was pretty much your trade. So now, set your stop at the lows of yesterday. If you get stopped out, you get stopped out. It's new information coming at you, because if it's going to go from here, it shouldn't pull back there. But you got to be aware of retest of lows. Sometimes stocks will hit a low, bounce, come back and test that low, and then they're off to the races. And so, I can see it up to 65. That's a big move, in this climate, because look at the NASDAQ. All we did is hit a low and bounce. That's it. So, you can
V
call
bottom?
the NASDAQ
Yep.
composite a
V
falling knife
bottom.
low.
What about Buffalo Wild Wings here? The tournament's over. J Dot's, figures not everyone's gonna be going eating wings and watching those tournament games, but it did put in. I mean, let's call it the double bottom for the sake of a better term. 137, 37, 37, 81, and getting a little bounce here, a little follow through today. I see those two highs, 142.27 from yesterday and 143.35. Really minor resistance points here. Is that double bottom enough for you to lean on in this issue?
I don't like that. I get what you're saying. I don't like that it put a lower low in. For me, I'm looking at it, line up your tops above 155, and then the one that's just above 150.
Yeah.
Line up your tops. Guess what? That's resistance.
Yeah,
So,
that jumps
That's
back.
a really
trade,
steep trend line, though, if you're pulling that up. I mean,
is.
it's going to take
Well,
that
you're
out for
dealing with
sure.
growth stocks.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
So, I mean, take a look at Tesla, TSLA. I mean, it's a really good example of an issue that when the market hit a low, we bounced up for 4 or 5 days, really hot and heavy.
Yeah.
And then what did it do? It came right back down to retest its lows, but it didn't break
Held.
a lower low with the NASDAQ.
Yeah.
So, so there's your that's a nice classic looking little double bottom there.
That one
So,
looks better because a lot of these other ones, like you're saying, are below the 50 days or they've cut through. This one, where's the 50-day on Tesla? I've got to think it's still above it.
No, I'm not sure. It's I know it pegged at 203. I'm trying to find it. Bear with me, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
There it is. No, that's Netflix.
How close did that come to fill in the gap there, Dennis? You didn't quite get to that 203 low yesterday. 206.42 was the low, 203.51, so 12 points above that. You needed to get to. It did fill the gap the other day when it went because 203.70 was the high in the gap up day. So pretty classic technical formation there. We'll see if we can get a bounce. I just want to alert our traders here. There were two highs, 216.20, 216.49, double top. We are breaking above that level. Have traded up to 270, 17.38 in the pre-market. Could you just we're going to finish up with a couple other issues here. We haven't talked much about eBay. Not much banter by Mr. Icon here on spinning off the PayPal. He's been kind of quiet lately. I wonder if he's on spring break or something. But
He's gearing up to tweet something.
Yeah, $55.
The nice looking issue. If you look at the big piece off the March highs, that's a nice trend channel all the way down. The trade is it's got to bust through the trend channel
Yeah.
resistance to the upside, which is probably right around the 50-day moving average at 55.78. So, but look at it. Are you going to wait until it breaks above the trend channel after it's already gone from 53 to 56? You're chasing it already. So, if you like it, you can grab it in here, but you got to set your stop at the lows of yesterday. If it breaks down there, look at all that supply down in the 51 to 52 range. I'm looking at it daily.
Right, of course. Dennis, do you got a bid offer there in the eBay right now? I mean, I see it trades at 55s or anything out there.
It's real light. 200 shares, 54.86. 200 shares, 55.19. It's just bots making a 40-cent market there. There's really nobody making a
I mean,
market in
because
eBay.
this one with the spoos off 5.5 here, the strong close. If I could get this thing not too far away from yesterday's high, 55.01, not buying a big gap up situation, I'd give it a little room below the close here, but kind of
Ha,
looks.
55.20 just came in. Da-da-da-da-da. Now 3,300 bid up there.
Oh,
Right when
come
you're
on,
talking.
Dennis,
Somebody's
you
listening to
penny
you.
jumping,
That
high
wasn't me. That
frequency
wasn't my
trader.
algorithm.
Maybe it was
Somebody's
Garrett
algorithm's
over here
listening
that
to you
did
there,
it. Oh
Charlie.
man, you guys are no fun. Okay, let's finish up with ACI here, and then we got to get on with the show.
All righty, ACI.
That's Arch
Arch
Cole, huh?
Coal.
Yeah.
Well,
Moving up. Look at that. This is like the opposite of the eBay, where the eBay had that nice trend down for the last month. This has been trending straight up with a beautiful trend line from the last month.
Holy
pretty much,
man,
pretty much.
Cole's
Just Joe,
back.
for me, the moment I pulled this chart up, I went bam, just like that. Drew a line right across 470. That's support. Here's an issue that's been going sideways since
Forever.
October, let's say.
It's been going down forever.
Forever,
But
right? I'm looking at a 6-monther. Draw a line across 470. It broke out. 470 is your new support zone on an initial breakout. So typically, I don't chase breakouts. When they break out of bases, it's like, okay, let them go. And you know what? More often than not, you're going to see a point in time where they'll do an initial pullback right to where they broke out, which is a pullback off its highs to a support. And then when they start working higher, that's a trade for me. So if I don't catch the breakout. So
Brentster.
right now, support's at 470. So if you're buying it here, just remember this thing can come down to 470 and it'll be okay.
I think
Because that's the support.
I think the Brentster's been listening to your philosophy here, and he's picking up here. Leo out in Australia is coming in here for Brocade Communications here, and pull back off the highs. I'm not sure where the 50 days coming in. It snuck under the $10 level 2 days ago, made a low at 994. That corresponds perfectly with the 996 low that you had here. You got a base. You're only trading up 20 cents here. Is this something where, if you could get this thing 10.15, 10.20 and, try not to get shaken out under 10, is this a potential setup for you?
Well, the 50-day moving average is at 987.
Wow.
And you can clearly see. So, this thing off of the December lows, there's a nice trend line right there. So, and it also basically intersects with the 50-day moving average. So, if you want to follow the script of as long as it's in a clearly defined uptrend above the 50-day, there's nothing bad to say about it. So it doesn't have a lot of scale, mind you. A big move is going to be from 10 to 11. But it's not a $400 stock that you got to plow a lot of your account into it. It's a $10 stock. So, you got resistance at $11. Is it going there? I don't know. I just know that it's resistance. So,
and
right
10
now
bucks,
you got
$10 is really the number that jumps out to me on the support side.
Yep.
We did cut through it at 994. I would say if you're long this thing starts cutting through 994, that's where I'd get itchy.
Yeah, and there's
Absolutely.
things look open up to 1049. That was your high on Monday. Okay, Harlan, we got to take another quick break here and get our next guest in. Thanks a lot for hanging on and listening to the dog story a couple times. So
Yeah, every time I hear the word Perry, it's going to ring a bell now.
that's Perry with an I. Okay, don't confuse it with.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
I'll see you later, guys. Bye.
Okay.
Thanks, Harlan.